Alright lads, so one of the newest characters in the game is of course Gantenbainne, and he's a character you definitely want to get in your account. And of course, it's not for the traditional reasons of him being a good character, it strictly comes down to his actual soul trait. This is realistically the only redeeming part about this character, and it makes him one of the best links or valuable characters in the entire game period. By having this character as a link, you're getting 5 additional power links or potions, so this essentially can turn any character into a link slot farmer for epic raid purposes, or you can double down on a really good link slot character and therefore then get plus 10 link slot potions, having the value of 2 link slot characters. The great thing about him though is that he is also premium, so you don't need to get him right now. You can get him sometime in the future, whether that's on the individual banner, from a summon ticket, or when he becomes a filler in a couple months from now. Having said that, we are still going to have to showcase the character itself. I'm only going to take him into one quest because I don't think he's really worth talking about. We did get him level 10 SP, mainly just to give the extra stats since we are going to use him as a link. He is worth investing into the SP slot for the link aspect. But when it comes to him being a character, he essentially only has Frenzy +1 and a 40% Berserker in terms of damage output. That's not really high, it's on the lower sides. It can get higher since he does do 60% more damage to lash rated enemies. And he also busts a ranked damage to those that are hitting enemies that are afflicted by an ailment. And that's by 40%. That will be good. Unfortunately, at least in the purpose of IZ and epic raids, the realistically only place you're ever going to take him, there's only one character that can benefit from that, and that is of course Grimmjow. Grimmjow himself can't inflict any status ailments, so he can't even help himself inflict status ailments. So we can't even help Gantenbainne inflict status ailments. And since Gantenbainne and Grimmjow are the only links or characters that are there to farm links or potions in epic raids and IZ. So unfortunately, there isn't that many characters out there that can really take advantage of this particular skill. And at the same time, he himself isn't a ranker, so he also doesn't mesh well with the other characters in the lobby, that being the Sorpus, for example. With that said though, let's take him into a quick quest just to see how he performs. So usually this is the part where we take the character into IT. I'm only taking him into IT because I only got this character SP level 10 and level 10 link slot, because I don't think he's worth going to T20 just for even a showcase in my opinion. It is cool to actually use a Gantenbainne, finally getting his first 5-star. He does look cool, especially with the afro. And I do kind of like the night string, but everything else about the character, there isn't much going for him. So his SA1 is going to be a small AoE in front of him. It's a good strong attack one. SA3 is kind of like a vacuum vortex SA3. Pretty good for inflicting status ailments since it does hit quite a few times. And then his SA2 is going to be a lunge forward, which does have, it looks to have a pretty good AoE around it. So strong attack wise, he isn't really too bad. Very like in front of him. All 3 of his attacks are actually in front of him. They do kind of mesh well together. So we can go here, use our SA1, we can go here and then grab them up together. Unfortunately though, because we do lack Havoc, range is still a tad bit lackluster compared to some of the newer characters. And keep in mind, this character was given a Stern Reticular, so you're not really going to see that be used much in any type of content really besides guild quests. Let's use our Sobom though. And we were surprisingly able to take down Renji with our Sobom. Amazing. So a 1 minute and 20 second clear time in IZ. Again, as we mentioned, this is a character that realistically you don't want to use. Caleb aren't really giving you much of a reason to use him, and the only appealing part about this character is of course the soul trait. So I guess the better highlight Gantenbainne's usage in this game is of course to use them as a link for a much better character, more fun to play character, more hype character, that of course being TENSA ZANGETSU. Now, realistically, you can put him onto any links or characters to double the value there. In this particular case, with this particular build, we are getting plus 10 links or potions. That's really good. If we wanted to, we could have used Uryu instead. You know, Uryu himself does a lot of damage. Also a really fun to play character too, and if you want to use him while also farming links or potions, you also can of course do that. Heck, you could even use Aaroniero now. Aaroniero does a lot of damage on his soul bomb. He'd be a great character to use in any epic raids, especially with the Gantenbainne link. In my case though, I want to use TENSA. Let's take him into a quest though and see how it does go. Alright then, so jumping into an epic raid then. Unfortunately, we are a man down, so we're only 5-manning it here, but we should still be able to do it just fine, right? And the person did leave during the loading screen, so we are still at least getting the bonus pots from them just existing. And in this case, of course, TENSA is still a great character to use in epic raids. He does most of the damage when status ailments aren't inflicted. But nowadays, especially in the speed attribute, most characters that can inflict status ailments actually inflict weakening, so it's still not too bad to be fair, even though we are still doing less damage output. It overall means your entire team can do more. So I'm going to use my Sobom for our teammates to revive so they can still get the extra damage from the weakened defense. And you're going to see that we're going to be able to go through a stage or this particular phase just a tad bit fast, which isn't too bad. There we go, going into the final phase. Hopefully one of those lives can have weakened defense. Again, it's always recommended when playing epic raids, someone has weakened defense, right? Just to overall get that extra bit of damage. Unfortunately, it doesn't like anyone did have it, so that's going to slow our run down just a tad bit. But regardless, I mean, we're still able to do a lot of damage, right? We were starting to get, surprisingly, a 1 minute clear time. That's not too bad. And that just goes to show how bad the power attribute is, for example. If you watched our Saruchi showcase, we were mostly getting like 1 minute clear times with a full 6-man team. In this particular case, we had multiple teammates die, we were a man down, and we still cleared in 1 minute, which is still respectable. And look at the potions we are getting. 56 potions with the extra droplets, and that's 5 more than usual, right? Because we are using Tensa with the Gantenbainne soul trait. So that was essentially a 7-character link slot lobby, and the more common this character gets, the better. And once Gantenbainne becomes a lot more common, then you're going to be seeing like 10 plus character link slot lobbies, right? I mean, it's kind of weird to think about it, but I actually see more Suns than Momos and also Gantenbainne, mainly just because even though Sun was the limited version of that link slot soul trait, she also was a good character in a better banner. No one's really pulling for these mid-month characters, despite them actually being, you know, good links. It's just better off to pick them later on in the future, right? But this run is going really fast. In this case, I'm going to now use my Sobom, weaken their defense. It looks like mostly everyone in this lobby did have weakened defense, which of course is what you do want to see. Now at this point, all we got to do is wait for our strong attacks. I'm going to use my SA1 and another pretty good run. In that case, a 40-second run, not too bad. Lucky for us, no one DC'd this time. And I believe once more I was the only Gantenbainne link in this lobby. So we should be getting, around 47, 45 plus what you're going to get here. And this is only the normal difficulty. Next month, we get the awakened difficulty. Then we're going to be getting like 60 plus links of potions. That's going to be really good. Going into our second run, then for some reason, people just keep disconnecting on us, but we have a pretty good lineup here. We have Ichigo. He's actually max transcend. That's really good to see, actually. Ichigo is like a really good Link's character that came out at the start of the year, and he's also buffing everyone's strong attack damage by 20%. That's also really good. I'm going to use my Soul here to apply the weakened defense. Now, we do have a Retsu and Ichigo on our team. They both can apply double weakened defense, which is why they're so good, and that's why this speed attribute right now is probably the best when it comes to farming Link's potions in epic raids, because those characters in general are just really good. It'd be nice, though, if one of them can't just use their Soul Bomb. Come on. Apparently not. Apparently no one wants to use their Soul Bomb despite them having weakening and weakened defense. There we go. Retsu finally used her. I took a bit of damage. Now they both use it. Right at the end. It's fine though, because that was still a really fast run. We got a 40-second play time. Could have potentially been sub 30 if they used their Soul Bombs fast enough. But speed is just in overall a great position. If you watched our this video on who is the best Links or characters, in terms of attributes, speed was number 1. And right now it's gotten even better because now you have access to this Gantenbainne link. And jumping into our final run then. Team is looking pretty good. In this case, we have 2 Akons, 2 Noels, and also 2 Tensas. Can't really complain about that. It's a good lineup. Would love to see more Retsus and also Ichigos, but we can't really complain here. We're still going to go for his quest relatively easy. 10-second team, we're already to the second phase. I'm going to use my Soul Bomb, apply the weakened defense. Maybe should have waited a second just to get everyone's strong attacks back, because most of us were recharging. But still, we'll go for his phase relatively quick. In this case, what, taking 15 seconds to get into the third phase? Now, as long as they can now use their Soul, would be pretty much good, right? There we go. Noel's Soul Bomb went off. There we go. It's going to be a really fast run, but potentially our fastest of the day. Now, it's very similar to our last 2 runs, to be fair with this. This looks fairly consistent, though. We've hosted a couple lobbies now. Most lobbies we were in were getting a 40-second clear time, which is still great, considering that they are open lobbies, right? If you're playing with people that you know, usually you do get a tad bit faster, but open lobbies, 40-second clear time really isn't anything too bad. And what's more, we're just getting all the extra links or potions, right? Normal epic raids, and right now we're getting 49 to 50, which is really, really solid. As mentioned, once AER comes around, that run would have been 60 links or potions and significantly more droplets, and any more people in your lobby that do get Gantenbainne, there's going to be overall getting more links or potions. I don't think the link is a must-have just to get into lobbies. It's a great link to have. It's a nice bonus, but I don't think it needs to be a requirement in most lobbies. Like 40 plus potions per run is perfectly serviceable. You know, if you're only trying to link shot your favorite characters, you don't need that many links or potions. But if you're like me, so someone that tries to link shot their entire box, then links like Gantenbainne are a must-have, at least for me. So yeah, overall, Gantenbainne is a great character to have, mainly just when it comes to the link purpose. This is a very weird showcase. Usually we showcase the character itself, but I really just don't think he's really worth talking about here. Visually, he doesn't look anything super exciting. The character itself, while it is cool, we got his first 5-star version, he's not someone that I personally want to play with. And again, because of his soul trait, I'm just much better bringing another Link's character with him linked, or a much better character with him linked. It's still great to see more premium Link's soul traits, so I'm not really going to complain about it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.